I just caught my fiancée, 31 years old, in bed with my father, who is 54. I'm 29. I don't even know where to begin. This has been the most surreal and disturbing experience of my life. It happened only 2 days ago, and I still feel trapped in a nightmare. I'm sorry for the length, but I haven't told anyone else about this, and I need an outlet. My fiancée and I had been together for 6 years. I proposed to her last January, and we were supposed to marry in June, but then the pandemic happened. I didn't mind having a modest wedding, but she insisted on waiting for her dream wedding. We rescheduled for later this year. Now, those plans feel completely meaningless. About 4 months ago, her behavior changed. She grew distant, less affectionate, and secretive. She came home late, guarded her phone obsessively, and lied about where she had been. At first, I never suspected infidelity. I thought maybe she was having second thoughts about marrying me. When I asked, she said she was just overwhelmed after getting a promotion. Around the same time, she started getting unusually close to my father. I didn't think much of it. Who would worry about their fiancé and father bonding? But my parents divorced years ago because of his infidelity. He's wealthy and narcissistic, and seeing him with her unsettled me in ways I couldn't explain at the time. For Christmas, we were supposed to visit my mom and siblings. She came up with excuses, saying she wanted to see her relatives and needed to work, so she insisted I travel alone, promising we would spend New Year's Eve together. I agreed. I hadn't seen my mother in a while. Coincidentally, my father was out of town at the same time. I've since wondered if they were together then. My siblings and I usually alternate holidays between my parents, since they can't stand being around each other. I truly had no reason to suspect cheating until my fiancée started getting calls from a number saved under her best friend's name, Karen. What was strange was that these calls came even when we were out with Karen and her husband. Karen was sitting right there, and my fiancée wasn't touching her phone, yet her phone lit up with Karen's name. The look on her face was the most guilty I'd ever seen. On the way home, I asked her about it. She claimed it was another Karen from work. When I asked to see her phone, she refused, accusing me of invading her privacy and unfairly accusing her. I pressed further, pointing out her suspicious behavior, but she insisted her calls and messages were private. Against my better judgment, I let it go. Fast forward to the present. Her behavior only got worse. I was supposed to leave on a business trip Monday, but my flight was cancelled due to snowstorms. When I came home, my father's car was parked outside. I assumed he had just stopped by. Inside, though, neither he nor my fiancée were downstairs. I called out, and I heard movement upstairs. She appeared agitated, telling me to wait downstairs. When I asked where my father was, she claimed not to know, even though his car was parked outside. My bedroom door was locked. When I begged her to open it, she refused, saying she was getting ready. At first, it didn't cross my mind what might be happening. But then it clicked. I knew something was wrong. I kicked the door open. I wish I hadn't. My father was fumbling with his trousers while my fiancée was barely dressed. I was stunned, in complete shock. My fiancée burst into hysterical laughter and shouted something like, "It's not what it looks like." I stared at my father, overwhelmed with rage. For a moment, I considered attacking him, but I couldn't. I was too exhausted, too defeated. Instead, I grabbed my bag and left. She ran after me, tried to stop me, even attempted to get into my car. I drove away and checked into a motel. I've been here since, ignoring all calls and messages from them and from other family members. For 2 days I've done nothing but cry and drink. I don't understand why either of them would do this. Why him? Why her? Has anyone else experienced something like this? How did you find the strength to move on? Story 2. I hate myself for posting this, but I need to get it off my chest. I come from a Nordic country, and the past 6 months have been devastating. I've taken on more responsibility at work, become the primary breadwinner, and I'm managing a €37,000 EU Commission project while also being active in local politics. My immediate family supports me, but most of my extended family has passed away. I lost my mother at 23. My first marriage ended after my wife cheated on me. I stayed unmarried for 8 years, focusing on finishing my degree abroad. I relocated afterward, hoping for a fresh start, but I was unhappy. Work was overwhelming, and I developed a drinking problem from stress. I eventually sought help, but after 13 hours in the hospital ward, they told me it was all in my head. Even my supervisor delayed a promotion because of it. 3 years later, I managed to turn things around. I'm doing well at work, and I've been married to my current wife for 2 years. We dated for nearly a year before getting engaged, and with her, I've finally felt happy again. Meanwhile, my father, now 78, was diagnosed with malignant prostate cancer. I reached out to my brother for advice. Just 2 weeks later, my son was born. My father's side of the family visited, and my brother held my newborn while we all laughed together. But 3 weeks later, at 12:20 a.m., I got a call from my father. My brother had died of a heart attack on his way home from work. Paramedics arrived quickly, but they couldn't save him. My entire world shattered. I took 3 days off work, but the responsibilities piled up again quickly. Now I'm caring for my nephew, supporting my father, and balancing all my work demands. I'm 35. I never met several of my grandparents. Now, for my original family, I only have my father and nephew left. I feel completely lost. And yet, I have a wonderful wife and an amazing child. I want to give them everything I can. Even though I know my time with my father is limited, I needed to write this down somewhere. Thank you for reading.